What's going on? What's going on? Brutus here, bringing you another Taking Down a Town Hall 10 video. From our last Range War versus North Washers, today I have a Town Hall 10 that took 4 attempts to bring down. So let's, without further ado, because I don't want the video to be too long, let's go ahead and cut down right to it. We got Chris doing the first christening, if you will. And it starts off, he is obviously a Town Hall 10. This is going to be a double zap quake. Dragon attack, or Dragloon with some baby dragons as well, because you got 4 level 2 in there. So, screwed in just a little bit so you guys can see how he does this. Got a queen walk going on the top. You guys can see the progression here. Pay attention to how he forms the funnel on this, what works and what doesn't. So he starts the queen by herself because she's not only under 1 point defense and a splash, which is like a massage on her, but she'll take care of quite a bit of trash buildings. Meanwhile, for the funnel. Meanwhile, he's got the barbarian king with just a few wall breakers to break in and get one of the 4 air defenses. A zap quakes 2 of the remaining 3, and the BK ideally should wrap all the way around to get the 4th, which is what the goal was. BK doesn't quite make it there, becomes mincemeat underneath that loon. But goes ahead and sticks to the plan. Nice little funnel going on here. The dragons are going to come this way, even though the bows are set to both up and down. But this troll, the BK here on the side, even though it's not fighting the sweepers are pointing away. The BKs control the dragons a little bit while they take some defense damage as well. The hound poses an issue where the dragons bust the hound and then they stall out a little bit and work on some pups as well. Down goes the queen, but then a Tesla farm, which was suspected in the core here, but he's not fighting the sweeper the entire time. So the idea to come through this way, and of course leaving the town hall for the back end side with just a few baby dragons to take it down, and then also help soak up some of those strings towards the last end of this push. But this core right here poses issue with 2 bows set to doing 90, I believe is what these level 3 of X-bows would do, doing 90 DPS to a dragon. Combined it's 180, plus you got Tesla farm in the middle that's doing like a combined 360. So it's almost as if the damage coming at these dragons, all beefy as that they are, it's almost like 2 air defenses, being shot at them with that combination of those 4 separate DPS point defenses in the core there. So great plan and execution. It just didn't quite get there. So we're going to bounce out of here and we're going to take a look at the next one. Okay, so now we're back with the second attempt. Again, a double zap quake. But we're going to bring less loons and just a few valkyries to help with the funnel, and then ensure that the main objectives were accomplished with forming the funnel, taking out the air defense, 2 of the air defenses, and zap quaking the other. So he brings Valkyries to basically get more out of his queen. Valkyries form part of the funnel, get that BK out of there, just so that he can watch the destruction, I guess. But the queen gets the 4th air defense that was missing last time at the north. Same entry with the BK. He's going to work his way around, primarily getting rid of the trash ring as well. Gets the CC out. But ideally, the BK was to get rid of some of those trash buildings, and then for the funnel of his dragons, slightly different. The change on this was all the air defenses are now down, and he's got 8 dragons still with only 3 loons and still 4 baby dragons. So they all converge upon the hound coming in. Max, the update's not out yet, so still a max dragon coming out of the CC. Sorry, I thought it was the new dragon. Loons to follow. There goes the pups. So, but I like how clever that did you guys see how he basically had this 5 streams focused up on the dragons, while 3 of the max loons surgically snuck by those Infernal Tower to take it out. That was extremely clever. So it's going a lot better this time, and then the Archer Queen acts as a natural funnel. He's starting the baby dragons on the left-hand side, minions on the bottom to make sure the dragons stay in the core, but it's still going to run into the same issue in the core. Even though they're not fighting the sweeper, He's got 2 bows on him, a Tesla farm of basically a combination of 360 DPS, and then another point defense up here with the archer tower still left up at the end. So the funnel on the bottom also didn't quite get there. So this core section right here, although it's so inviting for the dragons, it's not the best answer, clearly, no pun intended, and not to take away from Cheddar or Chris, but it's just not the quite right answer for this base. But there's no way that you would have known that unless we're doing these attacks, right? It's the whole reason for the cleanup attempt video. So we'll go down just respectfully to show Cheddar's percentage on this. We'll go to ×4, and you can see how he fared as well. So with that done, we'll bounce out of here, and we will go to the next one and see what adjustments were made. Okay, so we're back and seeing the failures, or I shouldn't say the failures, seeing the issues that the core posed, completely abandoned the dragon attempt, and we're going mass miners on this bad boy. When in doubt, bring out the unions, right? the union wakas. Larry's pop up in the core, which stall out some miners. Down goes down a heal much needed because there's 2 giant bombs there being popped up, plus they were stalled out with the Larrys. He's got a BK on the bottom side. I'll back up a little bit so you can see that. BK on the bottom side, creating the funnel specifically with bowlers behind it for his miners in the core. They rage towards this really high concentration of DPS and HPS because the buff to Wizard Tower and bows have higher HPS now. So they might stall out a little there. Plus, no matter what they're doing in the core, the moment that they aggro onto the CC, they stop what they're doing and they go for her. That, unfortunately, left the bow at the end, so some miners circle back to get it. Looking promising on this, but it stalls out here with these high hit points, with this bow, with this Infernal doing work on it, and he's got a heal for it, so it looks like it's going to get there, and it's almost there. So this is definitely going a lot smoother than the last ones that we saw. You know, unfortunately, you know, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, but you got, the miners are where it's at today. It's currently in the meta, somehow, some way at Town Hall 10 plus levels. Wasn't enough, only 2-point defenses left. Queen is down, Hound in the air, which would have posed issues for the Queen on cleanup duty. But nice job. I mean, clever adjustments with the information seen from the other raids. We're going to bounce out of here and see what adjustments were made by Helm's Deep to finally put this one to bed. So with Helm's Deep, he's going to do a very similar attack, boner attack, but just heavier on the miner side. Not so much a balance of what you would usually see. And, you know, healers with the walk kind of deal. He starts early on the funnel this time. Gets some minions on the bottom side. BK started early as opposed to these were started simultaneously. And then he only sends just a few miners to start that start as natural funnel breakers to group the miners together as needed to make sure that they all, majority of them, stay at the core where you want them to melt everything in their path. Meanwhile, the funnel is nicely created on the bottom here. He's getting a lot more value for that. Poison down for the loon. It's out of the picture. And the Hound really is a non-factor as these bowlers take care of the Queen. So now there's nothing that's going to stop these miners in the core. They're going to keep, if they're hitting on a structure, they're going to keep hitting on a structure rather than stopping, rerouting to the Queen to get her autograph and then go about their merry day. He has 2 heals at this point, which is a lot. As you can see that the changes that he made were the instant benefit that it had, because at this point when we saw Gianni, no disrespect to him, but he didn't have as many heals left, and this one, you know, this heal could have been, it's hard to keep track of the miners. You know, you think you have a wad of them and then you don't, you know. So, you know, with all the heals that he had left over, the timing of how he got the funnel formed, the bowlers taking out that Queen, which was really the difference maker of this, to ensure that his miners keep moving in a wave. I mean, it just demolished the base with the information present from the other 3 attacks before. Piggybacking off information you get from the raid before. Really nice raids, Chris, Cheddar, and Gianni, and of course Helm's Deep bringing it down. Once again, it's Brutus reminding you got to be better than a double, and I will check you next time.